Tom, what is the process of Nobel Prize? If he's able to do that, who nominates? Because most of the Nobel winners are on the left.
Nobel Prizes, you can go look this up, are given through an arcane nomination process, and they go into a back room and they decide who they're going to give it to. And the Nobel Peace Prize is basically a political football. You look around the world at people that have really caused peace, and you have Obama made a couple speeches as soon as he was inaugurated in '09. Oh my goodness, we give it to for fostering an environment of peace. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything.
Patrick Bet David just turned Barack Obama into his verbal punching bag, hitting him with words so sharp they could cut through anything. This isn't just regular politics. It's like a comedy roast pretending to be a serious talk. And it's got everyone freaking out. How did a businessman step up and leave a two-term president shaky? Hang on, because this takedown is too wild to miss.
Okay. So you hear these stories, and it's becoming more and more and more. I guess here's the question. If they got a divorce, what's the big deal?
Nothing.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
So if they got a divorce and it didn't work out, Michelle's doing a podcast. I saw the numbers yesterday. Their episodes keep getting fewer and fewer views, according to...
Do you want me to tell you the numbers, Matt?
You have it, yeah.
So the new podcast continues to tank. The viewership is down over 75% compared to her first episode. Her viewership has been dropping since her show on March 12th. So it went from episode 1, 335,000, episode 2, 194,000, episode 3, it jumped back up, episode 5, 141, episode 6, 63,000 views.
Can you just go to the channel wrap? Let's see how it's doing.
So people are just not feeling it.
It's ranked 34 on Spotify.
And you know what is, Pat, why he's looking it up? It's not fair. Like, if you're in an unhappy relationship, I feel like when it comes to politics and these politicians, you have to stay together because of your public image. And it's like, bro, you're unhappy.
Patrick Bet David built his success by busting business myths and making people rethink money, power, and leadership. But now, he's turned his super smart brain on someone everyone thought was untouchable, Barack Obama. And the result? It's like a tough boxer facing a magician, pulling back the curtain to show it's all just tricks and smoke.
So when I look at Obama, he had an opportunity, but he wasn't raised with a black American. So he don't connect with us. He don't relate to us because he's not a black American. He comes from an African man who had a baby with a white woman overseas and raised by his white racist granddaddy and his loving white grandmama. He grew up throughout school dating white women. Like, who you date, your mama? Michelle was a political move for him.
You think so?
He would never got elected had he had a white woman. That's why Kamala couldn't get elected. Ain't nobody vote for no black woman with no white man coming from our culture.
Obama's perfect image didn't just get a little scratch. It got smashed like a wrecking ball hit it. People are still shocked at how hard it hit. For years, Obama's been like the golden star of politics, the guy who could do no wrong. His smooth speeches, big smile, and movie star vibe were like a superhero story for politics.
Barack
Like
Obama
Sade.
sitting like that. Where is his junk? It has to be mushed and mashed.
What you interrupted? That's what you interrupted Tom for? He's talking about his marriage?
Tom was saying something
Unbelievable.
about the challenge of marriage. But listen, you know who else is like that? Gavin Newsom.
Oh, hardcore.
They hit like that. That's hard. That's a
hurt.
Yeah. But anyways, going
Let's
back
be grown-ups here,
what
guys.
were some of the things
Another
that
guy
he
with
said?
no junk.
What did they say? What are some of the things? Obama, not that one. If you go to the Sean Ryan picture, the
So-
Sean Ryan Newsom picture,
So condensed.
that's the one you want to look at.
Every mistake was spun as a brave try. Every problem was hidden under a rug of hope and change. Obama was like the prom king who never stopped acting like he ruled the school, showing up to remind everyone of his awesome speech and cool style. But then Patrick Bet David came in. He doesn't care about the fancy suit or the prom crown. He only cares about facts, numbers, and proof. And he's not afraid to laugh while throwing cold water on the dream.
There are three things hiding in plain sight here. The first that's hiding in plain sight was that Obama was nowhere in sight. He didn't come to a podium. He didn't do one of those impromptu interviews. The media that follows him around where he goes for his foundation or things he does didn't come up behind him. He didn't go on the podcast with his wife where he was talking about young men and things and needing gay friends a week ago to come back and says, I don't need any of this crap. No, nothing. Obama was silent.
That's why this roast hurt more than usual. Politicians get criticized all the time. It's normal. But when someone like Patrick, with his super sharp business brain, steps in, people pay attention. It's not about picking sides. It's about looking at the real score, not just the catchy slogans. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Take the economy. Obama was sold as the hero of regular people, saving America after a big money crisis. Sure, the stock market went up, banks got help, and fewer people were jobless. But Patrick looked closer, like checking homework for mistakes. And he found big problems. Regular people's pay didn't grow. Living costs went way up. Families were working hard just to stay in the same spot. Rich people got richer, Wall Street grew like crazy, but normal folks were still pinching pennies, working extra jobs, and hoping their car wouldn't break. Obama was loved for saving people, but those same people felt more and more stuck.
You got Trump, you got Obama. What do you think about Obama? How much did Obama do for the black community?
Nothing.
You don't think he did a lot of good for the black community?
He didn't do nothing.
He didn't change your life positively, like?
He changed.
But he's black.
He spent 8 years. He spent 8 years giving the homosexual community all of our civil rights. We still need a little bit more. So Dr. King and them fight wasn't for integration. It wasn't really to take the Jim Crow signs down. The initial fight, and it lasted for a while. The initial fight was equal rights and equal protection under the laws.
Patrick explained it super simply, like only a businessman could. If a company boss said they were winning, but their workers couldn't afford food, would you cheer? That's how he changed the story. He took Obama's economic record out of the shiny ads and put it in a real-life report card. And it didn't look so great. It was like finding out your favorite restaurant has a cool vibe, but serves old food at fancy prices. Then came foreign policy. Obama promised hope, change, and fewer wars. He even got a peace prize, like he was the world's peace hero before he even started. But Patrick broke it down to simple facts. Drone strikes went way up. Wars in the Middle East kept going, and America's image abroad looked more like a mess than a win. For a guy who was supposed to stop wars, he sure made a lot of news with words like civilian casualties. Patrick didn't even need to be funny. The truth was already wild. Obama, the peace guy, made war moves that confused everyone. Patrick just pointed it out, like showing the lifeguard is the one throwing water balloons.
So Obama could not relate to the black American struggle coming from the N-I-G-G-E-R slave. He's not a seed of a slave. So why would he cry with us? He went and cried with his people, homosexuals. He gave
Those are his people.
them his people.
You
Man, them his people.
Stop.
You saw what he, man, listen.
think?
Yeah, he gave them the world. Yeah, them his people. How you recognize your kind? By their actions. Homosexual got actions.
You can't talk about Obama without mentioning healthcare, the Affordable Care Act, his big win, his legacy. It sounded awesome. Health care for everyone, affordable for all. But in real life, families saw their bills shoot up. Small businesses got buried in paperwork, and affordable just meant not totally breaking the bank. Patrick cut through it like a doctor with a scalpel. It wasn't just about the policy, it was about how people lived it. Workers weren't happy about their new plans, they were mad about the bills. That's where Patrick hit hardest. He wasn't making fun of Obama's charm or speeches. He was showing the gap between what people thought and what was real. Obama was great at telling stories that made people feel good, even when things were tough. But Patrick used hard numbers that didn't lie. It was a big deal because it made people wonder, was Obama's success just a great story, not real results? That's why everyone went crazy. Obama's fans were super mad, defending him like he was the ultimate hero. Others felt tricked, like they bought a shiny product that didn't work. Social media was a mess. Fans held up memories of his coolness, while critics shared Patrick's charts and facts. And some people just sat back, sipping their coffee, thinking, he's got a point.
They openly talk about the divorce, okay? That people think we're getting a divorce, and they're joking about it. And Obama said a few things. One of the things he talked about was about young men and daughters, and I don't know if this is the one or not.
I have it.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Where they talk about progressives, Democrats, and young men?
Yeah. He was talking about, it was actually it was going in the right direction of a point, and then he talks about every man needs a gay friend. I'm like, oh, you were making a very good point. And then
Patrick's takedown worked because it broke through Obama's charm shield. Usually, criticism of Obama comes with political fighting, so it's easy to ignore. But Patrick's different. He's not a politician or a grumpy news guy. He's a businessman who looks at results, like checking a company's profits. When he used that view, Obama's perfect image looked more like a marketing ad than a real legacy. That's what hurt. Fans could argue politics, but numbers are tough to twist. It was like catching a magician hiding a card. You can't see the trick the same way again. The craziest part? This showed a big change. Obama was seen as untouchable, protected by his charm and history. But Patrick cracked that with facts. It wasn't about attacking Obama himself. It was about breaking the idea that he couldn't be questioned. It showed even the shiniest leaders can't hide when the numbers tell a different story.
Obama's second term, he did none. Obama's first term, I think he did one. And Bush's first and second term, he did none on day one. This guy's come out the gates. One moment he's talking to World Economic Forum. Another second you're looking at him, he's talking to California, chewing out, Bass and Mayor Bass and talking to the folks there. Next minute he's in Vegas talking about no tax on tips. Next minute you're seeing him talking to military folks. Next minute you're seeing him on the media.
The effects were huge. If someone can openly question Obama's record without all the usual political drama, maybe no one's safe. The time of treating politicians like perfect heroes might be over. That scares leaders who rely on carefully built images, because if one falls, others might too. If Obama can be judged by facts, who else is just living off a good story? Patrick didn't just attack Obama. He attacked how politics makes us worship personalities instead of results. He showed that when you take away the charm, photos, and Netflix deals, you're left with one question. Did life get better for people under you? If not, no amount of coolness changes the score. That's why this was so cool to watch. It wasn't a yelling match. It was calm, clear, and hit like a roast because the irony was so obvious. The middle-class hero left the middle class struggling. The Peace Prize guy spread more war. The healthcare champ left people with big bills. And the coolest president ever? Cool doesn't pay the bills.
I wouldn't look at Obama one way or another. I would simply say, I get it. It's tough. Good, God bless. And don't forget, they were young presidents. They weren't old presidents. So it's a difference when you're a young president. When you're a young president getting out and you're a star power like Netflix showing everywhere he goes and da-da-da-da-da, it's a different kind of a life.
It was like pulling off a superhero's mask. Obama went from larger than life to just a guy in a few clear points. You can't cheer the same way once you see the costumes fake. Fans will keep defending him. Memories are strong. People don't want to admit their prom king might have peaked years ago. But Patrick changed the talk. The shine isn't untouchable anymore. Maybe Obama was just a great salesman selling a dream. And maybe Patrick sold the world on something new, reality. The best part? When he pulled back the curtain, he didn't just show Obama's record. He showed the secret plan every politician hopes you miss. It's a game of distraction, with smooth speeches that sound amazing while hoping no one checks the facts. Patrick didn't just check. He read them out loud like it was a comedy show, and the jokes wrote themselves.
There hasn't been one moment in our marriage when I thought about quitting. Bull. Every man and woman who has ever been married, you think about quitting. There's a moment you think things will happen. Yeah, that's such BS. We all have that.
She even said it. She said she hated him. She said she hated him for 10 years.
Are you admitting on camera that you thought about quitting?
Rob, can you rewind, Rob?
Babe?
Look at how his legs crossed. Go back to Brock's legs crossed.
Do humans in relationships have big fights? And you say for a split second, is this all worth it? Yeah.
For all his charm, Obama's time as president had contradictions that would make a teacher cry. He ran as the rebel who'd fight the system, then became buddies with the bankers he said he'd control. It's like Robin Hood joining the rich guys club and saying it was always the plan. Patrick pointed it out without yelling, just lining up the contradictions like toys and knocking them down. He brought a business mindset to politics and asked, if this guy ran your company, would you be clapping? Suddenly, the cheers got quieter. Even Obama's cool factor, his big strength, looked different after Patrick's take. Being cool doesn't matter when your results are just okay. It's like hiring a super funny chef who can't cook anything good.
A new movie comes out. What's the name of that movie? Civil War. How? Leave the world behind. Our power grid in America hasn't been updated. 75% of it hasn't been updated in 50 years. And you're kind of talking about that. Then you're pinning white against black. There's a line in the movie that says, Dad, you know if something goes down, we can't trust these white people. I know that's something both you and Mom agree on. Why do you put that line in the movie, Barack? And you were helping with the script. Why would you put that in the movie? Why would you put that in the movie? Barack, weren't you the same guy that gave a talk at the DNC in 2004 about bringing people together? What happened to that guy?
You might laugh at his jokes, but you're still stuck with bad food. That's the trap Obama fell into. He gave America a great show when people wanted real results. Patrick pointed it out, turning Obama's cool image into an overused trick. And here's where it really hit. Obama's been the guy everyone compares new leaders to for years. Every campaign tries to copy his style. But Patrick pulled the rug out and asked, what if the style was always bigger than the results? That question makes people uncomfortable because it means they might have fallen for a shiny package instead of the real thing. This wasn't just a roast, it was a wake-up call. Patrick wasn't attacking a person. He was breaking the idea that charm equals skill. In a world obsessed with catchy phrases and cool vibes, that's a big deal.